What up, Space Fam? Goes in here from Anime Outpour, back at it again to discuss the latest and craziest developments in the One Piece story. And this is a big one. We get to see the conclusion of Zoro vs. King, we get to see King unmasked, and much more. So make sure to stay tuned for this one. If you do enjoy these One Piece chapter reviews and want to keep them coming, you know what to do. Channel the Pirate King within and smash that like button with no mercy. Remember, smashing that like button is Pirate King energy and passing is Orochi energy, so choose wisely. If you haven't, make this the video, subscribe, and this is crucial, hit that notification bell to turn on all notifications or you will miss future One Piece videos and updates. And while you wait for the next exciting chapter to drop, feel free to check out my huge and growing One Piece playlist that includes videos on all the Yonko, Warlord, Supernova, and much more. Link to that is in the description. And now, without further ado, let's jump into it, spoilers and all. This chapter is called Zoro vs. King, which is similar in its construction to the last chapter title, which was Sanji vs. Queen. In Sanji vs. Queen, we saw Sanji win, so the implication is that here it's Zoro's turn to do the same. Very hype right from the get-go. The chapter starts with the aftermath of the Sanji vs. Queen fight. Queen is beat up and sent flying, and it looks like he is literally blasting off like Team Rocket. I say that all the time, but here, like, it's actually like that. From the looks of it, he fell off the entire floating island. He'll either land in the water or potentially on land if they're above land at this point. Either way, it doesn't look like he's going to be an issue anymore. Epic victory from Sanji. It's difficult for it to sink in that our Sanji just crushed a dude with a bounty of 1.32 billion berries. He just beat the second strongest fighter of Kaido's crew, and Kaido has the highest bounty of all living Yonko. The Straw Hats are fast approaching the apex of the pirate world. Unless Blackbeard did something crazy off screen, Luffy's bounty should skyrocket over Blackbeard soon. It almost feels like Blackbeard has to beat Shanks or do something else that's absolutely mind-blowing to make the Luffy versus Blackbeard fight make more sense, because just fighting a lower bounty Yonko after beating the highest bounty Yonko just doesn't sound that exciting. But back to Sanji, who is still a gentleman despite his monstrous strength, and we are glad to see it. While the woman who thought he was the violent one is frightened of what he'll do, he ends up delivering the mouse Chuji that she was looking for. She thanks him, and it's funny to think Sanji not only beat Queen, but made sure to protect the mouse at the same time. Sanji recalls his own mouse friend who he used to feed as a kid. These two seem like a pretty good match now that Sanji has been cleared, since she does seem like a kind person at heart and they both share an interest in pet mice, which is pretty unique, I feel like. Sanji continues to talk to her to see if she's okay, but then, if I'm interpreting this right, he collapses from exhaustion and she yells for someone to get a first aid kit. It seems like Queen did push Sanji to the point of extreme exhaustion, which makes sense. It would be pretty insane if Sanji just carried on like nothing happened after beating someone so strong. And it also explains why he probably won't be available to participate in other Wano fights. We then jump to the main event of the chapter, Zoro vs. King. If Sanji was in bad shape after his battle, we can only imagine how Zoro will feel afterwards, since all of his wounds and pain will be compounded when his medicine wears off. But for now, he's going strong. He looks awesome with his flaming swords. His attack hurts King, and Zoro in this way confirms that King is faster when the flames on his back go out, but his defenses get weaker. It finally makes sense when Zoro was thinking that knowledge of the Lunarians would help him in this fight, because they clearly have weaknesses that can be exploited if you know about them. At this point, the craziness happens. King takes off his mask that's been destroyed even more by Zoro's last attack. And it may come as a surprise that Oda made him a very handsome dude with tan skin and long white hair. It looks like he could be one of those buff dudes on the cover of those cheap romance novels. Sometimes you feel like masks could be hiding a disfigured face, but definitely not in this case, and it kind of makes sense that he's good looking since the Lunarians were known as a tribe of gods, and even had wings like angels to match the angelic aesthetic. Everyone is shocked when they see the rumors were true, and they begin to say the world government is offering 100 million berries for any info on ... But King cuts them off with an Imperial Dragon attack and burns them. Zoro tells him not to treat his men like that, but King clearly felt like he couldn't trust them since there is so much incentive to rat out Lunarians to the government. Zoro again asks about King's race, and I think we all want to know more about the Lunarians, but unfortunately King says, "Why should I bother? You'll be dead soon." I feel like this is Oda poking fun at how usually when a character thinks they're about to kill someone, they randomly start telling them their life story, and Oda is like, nope, why bother telling it if the person will be dead soon anyway? It's a funny twist, but I do nonetheless desperately want to know more information about the Lunarians. We get an interesting moment after some blows have been exchanged where Zoro says, "I don't have much time. If we keep dragging things out, this sword will kill me." Clearly he's referring to Enma, the key to his new power-up here. And interestingly enough, instead of putting on a poker face and acting like he's fine, King admits that he too feels close to his limit. Thus, they both establish this will be over soon, they're giving it their all to end it quick. Zoro thinks to himself that King's race being special doesn't change anything for him, which is funny because he did previously say he needs to know its secret to win, but he could also mean, unlike all the people that freaked out because of the government award for Lunarian information, Zoro doesn't care. He'll simply fight him as another respectable warrior in battle. Zoro says they're in the same boat since they are close to their limits, but he says King has had his time at the top and it's time to make room for us, probably meaning the Straw Hats. And yeah, you could say that Kaido, as the highest bounty Yonko, was on top of the pirate world in a sense, but still, he was no pirate king. The constant parallels between Zoro and King are also interesting. Aside from both of them being right-hand men who use swords, they are both associated with kings and dragons. As Zoro says, he's using King of the Underworld three-sword style, while King says that the Straw Hats shouldn't get ahead of themselves because Kaido will be the next pirate king. We get a much appreciated King and Kaido flashback. It's a pretty epic encounter, I must say. Kaido is breaking out of the experiments laboratory held by the government. He tells King that they'll never let a Lunarian go and asks King if he wants to come along and join Kaido's pirate crew that he's gonna form. Clearly, King was a day one crewmate for Kaido. King first asks if Kaido will be able to change the world, and Kaido says, and this is so epic, "I am the only one who can." This young Kaido's look and eyes are so full of life and belief here. This is before he became the more jaded, always drinking version of himself that he is today. He definitely had more Luffy vibes here. It's hilarious to see how they are casually walking away as people are screaming from behind that the test subjects have escaped. King reveals his real name is Arbor, and Kaido tells him he's worthy of a stronger name and dubs him king. He says if he stands by him, Kaido will never sell him out, which is a very nice moment between these two characters. Even antagonists can have these heartwarming moments, and you can tell why King is so loyal to Kaido here. Not only did Kaido save him, he's one of the few people who wouldn't give him to the government and sell him out. He also believed in him enough to give him a powerful name, and he still identifies with this name today. Love seeing these fleshed out dynamics from opposing crews, I must say, and I appreciate these moments because it shows Kaido can be a decent guy in certain contexts, and he's not just pure evil, which usually makes for boring villains in my view. They continue to fight, and while King's fire is burning, Zoro is not doing damage. They clash, and King tries to use his weird sword to take Zoro's swords like last time, but it doesn't work. Zoro says King is not taking these named swords of his. A pretty hype statement. I love the respect and love he has for his swords. Then Zoro notices King's moving fast, aka he can cut him down because his flames are deactivated. In a truly impressive moment, Zoro outspeeds King's fast form and cuts him with Bird Dance. Zoro then notices that King is blocking his attacks, meaning that King is no longer confident in his ability to take Zoro's attacks without damage. Zoro is clearly on the offensive here, the momentum is working in his favor now. King tries to say a being like Zoro, probably implying a mere human, can't win against him, but Zoro is not having it, saying you can shove that excuse right back where it came from. I love Zoro, no excuses. King still tries to act patronizing, saying, and I quote, "I'll remember you as a swordsman that held some skill," end quote. The implication is that it's been fun, you were alright, better than I thought, but I'm about to end it. Zoro in response says if King survives, Zoro will beat the memory of himself into his skull. King launches what looks like a flashy final attack. It's called Imperial Guardian Flaming Dragon, and I love the fact that it unleashes an actual fire or magma, as Zoro implied, dragon at Zoro. We wanted to see Dragon Slayer Zoro, and in a sense we get that here. Zoro uses the move Underworld King's Three-Bladed Dragons, using the idea of kings and dragons for himself too, and cuts through King's flaming dragon and then him, taking off a wing in the process. We're told by the narrator, with one swing even dragons are torn asunder, and that is the end of this epic epic chapter. And props to how much that narration hypes up Zoro. We know how strong and mythical the idea of dragons are, and yet it said with one swing Zoro takes him out. Really love the fact that Zoro got his chance to overcome a dragon, in a sense at least. That was an epic chapter, and it really seems like the end of this fight, which means Wano is wrapping up pretty quickly at this point. We just need to deal with Kaido and Big Mom in one way or another. Zoro did the unbelievable. He, if I'm not mistaken, beat the Yonko commander with the highest known bounty of any Yonko commander. He beat the right-hand man to the strongest creature in the world. If you want to use the Lunarian mythology and symbolism, you could say Zoro took down a god. Absolutely insane stuff. One Piece is almost unrecognizable at this point because of how far the Straw Hats have come in terms of power. But yeah, let me know your thoughts on this chapter and what you're looking forward to most in the next one. Obviously, I think we all gotta agree that Zoro was MVP this chapter. There's no doubt about that in my mind. If you did enjoy this review and want to keep them coming, you know what to do. Channel the Pirate King within and smash that like button with no mercy. Remember, smashing that like button is Pirate King energy and passing is Orochi energy, so choose wisely. If you haven't, make this the video you subscribe, and this is crucial. Hit that notification bell to turn on all notifications or you will miss future One Piece videos and updates. And while you wait for the next exciting chapter to drop, feel free to check out my huge One Piece playlist that includes videos on all the Yonko, Warlords, Supernova, and much more. Link to that is in the description. And I especially want to thank the Patron Squad over on Patreon and here on YouTube who help make videos like this one possible. First and foremost, I want to thank the Patrons of Legend, the ones acknowledged by Lord Twigo himself, Alpha Sigma, and Kyle Salisbury. And other one-tier patrons, the ones who stand atop all clans: Ingrata, Aljatal, Pate Hefa, the Red-Haired Fox, Hinokami and Water, the Toasted Chi, Corey McGowan, the Spike, Lonely Dakar, Dylan Isidore, Spidey Life Tanel, Tungsten Tarkus, Baked Buddhist, Jeremy Cummings, and Cheye Whitley. And our Pro Hero tier patrons, the one and only Gilgamesh Steelers, Angel Cruz, Very Gucci, Alicia Actor, Bonnie Parks, Joanne Garcia, Fatboy Games, Kaido Might Be a Duck, Jessica Rabbit, Jeremy Phillips, Ali Vaitnia, Temple, King Matthew, and Demetrius Water. Thank you all so much. If you do enjoy our work, you can support more of it by going over to patreon.com/animeuproar and becoming a patron today for as little as $1. If you do so, you'll get your name featured in future videos alongside these amazing epic people right here, and you'll get access to our private patron-only Discord where we talk about anime life and of course dank memes. So check out patreon.com/animeuproar, link in the description if you're interested. You can also join the YouTube channel by clicking that blue join button next to the subscribe button that you've hopefully already destroyed. So yeah, you can support more content that way if you prefer, and whichever way you choose to support us, you can get the same great benefits. Thanks again, and until next time, see ya, Space Cowboys.